Do you ever feel like no matter what you do, whatever you're doing just never feels like it's enough? Do you feel like you're constantly waiting for someone to validate that what you're doing enough? If this sounds like you, I want you to hang around because throughout this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify these traits and also how to overcome them inside of your life. So if you're constantly chasing the next thing, something that I like to call shiny object syndrome, and you're waiting for the day where you're going to feel ready and you're going to feel confident and like you're going to have full clarity on a decision that you're trying to make in your life, but that time never really comes. I hear you, I see you, and I have been there before. Honestly, that was me. I was constantly outsourcing my decisions for years. I was looking for validation, like external validation in the decisions I was making in my life. I was looking for people to tell me that I was making the right decision and that, I was going to be okay and that I was going to be fine and I was going to get the outcome that I wanted. And I was looking for this through my parents, through my relationships, through my friendships, through mentors, through, even my career as a nurse at the time. And that constant seeking of external validation can really weigh heavy on you as an individual, and it actually takes away your power to make decisions in your life. And we want to be empowered. We want to be able to make our own decisions and back ourselves and trust our judgment. But we can't do that if we're constantly looking for external validation from people. Something I always tell my clients inside of CEO Foundations is that they don't need my permission to do something. They don't need my permission to take action. This is their life. This is their business. I'm just here to guide them through the not so nice parts because that's when people need more support. I'm here to give them the proven blueprint that works and that can build businesses and that will build businesses that can scale up to 30K months, right? But when we wait for permission from people and we wait for that external validation, we're taking away our own power and we're putting ourselves into this box and we're making ourselves we're telling ourselves this story that we're not worthy of making our own decisions and that we can't be trusted. But we need to bring that power back. We need to feel strong and empowered in the decisions that we're making. And we also need to accept the fact that they're not always going to lead to positive outcomes. They're not always going to end the way that we want them to end, but we're always going to learn something along the way. There's been so many times in my life where I've made a decision, and in that moment, was it the best decision? Yes, because it's what I felt called to make at the time. Did I get what I wanted out of it? Was it like a good decision to make upon reflection? Probably not. And Nathan and I talk about this all the time. Like, for those of you who don't know, like last year we lived in Bali for 6 months and then we returned to Australia for my sister-in-law's wedding, and we're from Sydney originally, both born and bred in Sydney, right? And we made like this inkling decision just to move to Queensland and just to give it a go. And like we moved to the Sunshine Coast. We took everything. We took, our whole house that was in storage and our dog and like everything that we had, and we moved to the Sunshine Coast and we lived there for 9 months, and it was probably one of the worst rush decisions we made. Not the worst decision in terms of places to live, but just like we did not think. And from that moment forward, we always said to ourselves, like, we're just going to think about things and we're going to take our time and feel called to something rather than just rush a decision. So what I'm saying in that is like, be empowered to make your own decision, but also don't put yourself in a position where you can't learn a lesson from it. It's okay to decide to do something and it not work out, and then you learn from it, because that's how we grow as individuals. I talk a lot about mindset and overcoming limitations and overcoming your own personal blocks and like breaking down these barriers. And this is one way that you can definitely do it. It's important to understand that you don't fail in anything at life as long as you learn and you implement and you change. Sometimes people fall down more times than they don't because that's how long it takes you to learn something. But you making your own decision in areas of your life, whether it's where you live, whether you start a business, you become a content creator, you become a YouTuber, you take a promotion in your nursing career, whatever it is that you decide, as long as you're the person that's making the decision and you're not seeking external validation to do that, then you're going to be successful because you made that decision all on your own, and then you're going to learn something from it, whether it goes well or it doesn't. You're going to learn something from it, and that's powerful. And like I said, it's a massive part of what I teach inside of CEO Foundations. Like, I teach people how to build businesses from the ground up. I'm not here to give them permission to make choices in their life. I'm here to show them that they can do anything as long as they believe in themselves. And believing in yourself is one of the things that we lack. As women, we lack that a lot. We lack a lot of self-belief, self-confidence, self-worth, self-value, right? But we have to go back and we have to go within and we have to trust ourselves again, because we can make very good decisions. We are women, we are great organizers, we have great attention to detail, and no one will ever take that away from us. But we need to empower ourselves to make these decisions and feel confident and back ourselves and just go all in. Have that attitude, have that do or die attitude. Like, if you're going to do something, like, do it with your 100% energy. Don't just like dip your toe in, because that's when you take your own power away from yourself, because it's almost like you've made the decision but you don't also back yourself to, you know, reach that outcome as well. You need to go all in. When you back yourself and you make a decision in your life, go all in with it and be fully on board with it and embrace it for what it is. And whatever the outcome is, you're going to have something positive, or you're going to learn a lesson from it. Because honestly, when you don't trust yourself and you don't back yourself, life becomes like pretty dark place. You lose, you know, confidence, you lose self-love, you lose self-trust in yourself, and it's just like not a place that you want to be in. And that's where you really start to pull on shiny objects. You start to pull on people that you don't need to pull on to make decisions. And I'm massive of like, don't take advice from people that you wouldn't trade positions with, that you wouldn't trade lives with. Are the people that you're taking advice from people that, you know, are doing exactly what you want to do in life and are operating at the level that you want to operate at in all areas of life, business, relationships, career, whatever it is that you're doing, right? Like, you don't have to be building an online business for this to be valid to you, but it's like, if you're taking advice from people that you wouldn't trade places with, why are you taking advice from them? Why are you seeking external validation from them? Why are you constantly like, oh, should I do this? Is this a good idea? This is what I'm thinking of doing. Because I can tell you from experience, like, people closest to you, like your family, like your parents, they're just going to tell you what they want you to do because that's all they know, right? I reflect on this a lot in life, and I'm like, why do people like not see things the way that I do? Number one, because I've grown in a different way. I look at life very differently to most. I think, you know, everyone looks at life differently to each other, of course. That's what makes us human. But also, like, when you spend a lot of time growing as an individual and expanding and working on yourself, what other people go through is like so invalid to you. You're like, why do they even bother about stuff like that? And then when I'm making these decisions in my life and choosing, like, you know, where I'm going to live, what I'm going to do, blah, 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 all the things, right? It's like, who would I go to for advice? And I don't really go to anyone for advice anymore. Nathan and I always talk about our decisions, and we as a couple, we always have a plan. Like, this is like a rough plan, and this is what we've decided as a couple. And no matter what external source tries to pull us in this direction because, hey, this person wants us here, and hey, this person wants to do that, we will always do what we want to do as a couple. He's like the only person, and I wouldn't even say that's validation. Like, we're a couple, we're a team, we do everything together, right? But it's like, would you take advice from your dad? And if the answer is no, then like, don't go to them for external validation. Tell them about what you're doing. Tell them, you know, about the incredible life decisions that you're making, but like, don't go to them for validation if they're not someone that you would change life to. Because what we want to do is we want to empower ourselves, and we want to trust ourselves, and we want to back ourselves. And that it's exactly like I said, whether you become successful in whatever decision that you make because it was a good one and you backed yourself and you went all in, or you backed yourself, you went all in, it was still a good decision, but you learned something from it, you're only going to become a better person from that. And that's the biggest transformation of all. It doesn't matter what area of life you apply this to, it's just stop trusting other people to make decisions for you and stop looking for that external validation, and just trust yourself and back yourself, and have, you know, trust that you are a confident person who can make good decisions. And no matter the outcome, it doesn't matter. You're going to learn something from it, or you're going to get to where you want to be anyway.